Outlander is a show on STARZ that is part fantasy, part historical fiction, and part romance. It is based off the novels by Diana Gabaldon. We here at Random Catholic Thoughts watched a few of the episodes after checking out the first book that's simply titled Outlander. There is one part in the book that is of great interest to us Catholics. In order to fully appreciate the moment, we need to give away some of the storyline. The main character, Claire, was vacationing in the Scottish Highlands with her husband in the late 1940s. She somehow manages to time travel back to the 1740s. It's a hard story to summarize, but throughout the book, Claire fights for her very survival several times, wrestles with her feelings because she consents to a marriage to a Scotsman whom she has strong feelings for while still having strong feelings for her 1940s husband. As an English woman, she struggles to find her place amongst superstitious, suspicious, and sometimes hostile Scottish Highlanders. Jamie is her hunky, kind-hearted, and loving husband who is unfortunately also a criminal wanted by the English. Towards the end of the book, Jamie is captured and is assaulted both physically and sexually by the book's primary antagonist, Captain Jack Randall. After a daring prison break, Jamie and Claire flee to a monastery in northern France to rest, recover, and make some decision on what to do next, as going back to Scotland would only lead right back to imprisonment and execution. It is revealed earlier in the book that Claire was baptized Catholic but never practiced. So at the monastery, Claire is worn out and confused. She takes the advice of Father Anselm at the Abbey and accepts his offer to join him on his 2 a.m. shift at the monastery's chapel for perpetual adoration. Here is what the priest says about why he likes the 2 a.m. shift. For me, in that moment, it's as though time has stopped. All the humors of the body, all the blood and bile and vapors that make a man, it's as though all of them are working in perfect harmony, or as though they've stopped altogether. I often wonder whether that moment is the same as the moment of birth or of death. I know that its timing is different for each man or woman, but just then, for that fraction of time, it seems as though all things are possible. You can look across the limitation of your own life and see that they are really nothing. In that moment when time stops, it is as though you know you could undertake any venture, complete it, and come back to yourself to find the world unchanged and everything just as you left it a moment before. As though knowing that everything is possible, suddenly, nothing is necessary. Claire then asks, but do you actually do anything? Pray, I mean. This is a direct quote from the book. I? Well, he said slowly, I sit and I look at him. A wide smile stretched the fine drawn lips, and he looks at me. Wow. Just wow. Anyway, Claire goes to adoration. After all her trials of the past several months, and facing an uncertain future, Claire now lets every emotion and idea swirl around in her head. What she doesn't know is that Father Anselm left her alone in the chapel with the Blessed Sacrament. Now here's a direct quote from the book. Claire, you left? I said once outside the chapel, but I thought you weren't supposed to leave the, sacrament alone. He smiled tranquilly. I didn't, ma chérie. You were there. I repressed the urge to argue that I didn't count. After all, I supposed, there was no such thing as a qualified official adorer. You only had to be human, and I imagined I was still that. Right before Claire goes back to bed, this exchange occurs. I paused there to bid him good night and to thank him for taking me to the chapel. It was restful, I said, struggling to find the right word. He nodded, watching me. Oui, madame, it is. As I turned to go, he said, I told you the Blessed Sacrament was not alone, for you were there. What of you, ma chérie? Were you alone? I stopped and looked at him for a moment before answering. No, I said, I wasn't. Now in the book, Claire goes to adoration again and receives the Sacrament of Reconciliation. There are some great quotes that all of us Catholics will definitely appreciate. But for now, we leave you with the 2 excerpts we have already mentioned. Perhaps there are more, but we have never read anything like this in any secular book. If you don't already go to adoration on a regular basis, we here at Random Catholic Thoughts definitely recommend making serious efforts to do so. It's an opportunity to simply be there with our Lord away from the noise of the world. In the end, we here at RCT do not recommend Outlander, as it is just not our cup of tea, and because a few more R-rated parts do not make for ideal Catholic consumption. It is very well made in quality storytelling, but it is just not our cup of tea. If you are a fan, surely you will agree that the adoration part in the book is fantastic, and when the show glossed over that part, you were very disappointed. There you have it. What are your thoughts on Outlander? Put it in the comments section. And here's the obligatory request to watch some more videos, subscribe, and follow RCT on social media. Thank you very much.